A lot of us are under the idea or follow the notion that the brain is an automatic function that you are out of control about. That it's kind of an independent organ that is not reachable by whatever you do with your life, whatever you do with food, whatever you do with athleticism, whatever you do with fitness. But in actuality, the brain is very, very linked and responsive to everything that you do. Consequently, it's for the same reasons. We're getting into excessive oxidative stress. We're living in a very chaotic world. People don't have good stress coping mechanisms, and they're eating poorly, they're not fit, etc. And it all leads to degeneration. So the spectrum is very wide, beginning at a very early age with learning disorders, student burnout, to early age dementia or senility, to Alzheimer's. And it's happening earlier and earlier and earlier. This particular product is designed for all ages. It could be taken by a student. It could be taken by an older person. We are not using drugs for this. We are using nutrients. Well known in research to be very critical for the health of the brain. Examples are niacinamide, which is a form of B3, a B vitamin. We're using bacopa, which is an ancient, long-used herb for mental acuity and brain cell protection. We're using Alpha-Glycerylphosphorylcholine, which is a fancy word for a very important nutrient for the brain, which is choline. Cognizin is a patented nutrient that we've added to this formula to, again, complement each ingredient I mentioned and enhance circulation and neural protection. Very important, because if there's a lot of oxidative stress going on in the brain, then there is cellular damage. And that's why we get early age senility, dementia, and Alzheimer's. We're using ginkgo biloba, which is another plant, very important for brain health. We're using L-Carnitine, a very essential nutrient for how fat cells in the brain, which is primarily the construction of the brain, mostly fat, is metabolizing that fat for the transmission of information. And we're also using vinpocetine, which is derived from the periwinkle plant, and in very, very important research that shows its protection of brain cells and its enhancement of circulation of the brain, blood circulation, and the uptake of very important nutrients. We expect this brain food, this product, to enable a much higher level of mental performance, mood performance, learning performance, memory performance, so that the ease with which we can use our brain becomes much more effortless. Students will experience less of a need for stimulants in order to study for longer periods of time. They'll be able to absorb information in a quicker, more rapid, sensible way, and be able to express that information in a much more effortless way without having to do the very thing that creates damage, which is using stimulants and using substances that ultimately have a damaging effect on the brain. FYI, there are many products that are cloaked in the hope of brain nutrients and brain health. Many of them are actually stimulants and products that for a very brief period of time may make you feel a little bit different, but not necessarily in the long run, and perhaps regrettably in the long run. What we're trying to do here is use cutting-edge science, essential nutrients known to be essential to brain health, combined into one product without stimulants that enhance the health of the brain over time.